Greetings, fellow sojourners. Thank you for tuning into my channel this week. My name is John, and thank you for being a part of my journey. I have a number of issues I'd like to discuss with everyone here, including my favorite things, a moment of clarity, a shift that I see is coming, and my week in review. I'd like to start off with a moment of clarity that I had this week after watching a scene from The West Wing. They were talking how the government should take over for a certain project, and they couldn't figure out why they shouldn't take over this project. The person that was in charge of this project in the public sector said, well, because you'll suck at it. That made me think that maybe I think that I'm an expert at some things, but really, I really do suck at it. And that's okay. There is an effect called the Dunning-Kurger effect that was pointed out to me by a relative. I believe it's a nephew-in-law. I'm not going to do the math there. Basically, this chart over here that I have above my head says that once you start learning something that you think you're an expert at it, as time goes on, you realize you're not. And I've come to this conclusion here. There are many things in my life that I thought I was an expert at. I'll just give you one example here. I thought I was an expert at computers. Went to school for a little while for it. I'm still my mother-in-law's IT department here. But the more time that I spend reading, doing research and such, I realize I'm not. And more importantly, I realize I'm okay with this. The reason this is important to me is because this takes a huge weight off my shoulders. I realize that I don't need to know everything. Not only do I not need to know everything, I don't know everything. Therefore, one, I have room for improvement. Two, I might need help. And I'm okay with that. So here's my first question of the day. What's something in your life that you realize that you suck at and that you're okay with, that you need improvement on, maybe that you even need help? As was once said, there is a shift coming. Have you felt it? Well, I'm paraphrasing right now, but I think everyone gets the idea of what I'm trying to say here. So Chipotle Mexican restaurant has announced that they are officially trying cauliflower rice in certain markets. I put a link to the article in the show notes here, and this is really important because that there is a shift coming to that more and more people are paying attention to what they put in their bodies to make them feel okay, what they use as part of their journey, and restaurants are starting to pay attention to this. This to me is a great thing. I personally think this is a great thing because it allows for more and more choices. It allows for people to add things into their lifestyle in an easy convenience that they wouldn't have in the past. And I personally think that we need to support more ideas like this, more restaurants that offer options for people that are in a certain lifestyle, like the ketogenic lifestyle. So one of my favorite things that had happened to me this week here is on Instagram. And if you're not following me on Instagram, I'm going to put my link right here for you here. You should be. I show in detail all of the things that I eat throughout the week. I have pictures of my dogs and other such random things about my life. So I had a hot sauce company call me out on Instagram, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Their name is Irish Springs Unique Hot Sauce. They actually tell all of the ingredients that are in their hot sauce, which is fantastic, which we covered before about putting things into our body that we can pay attention to. Now, there is a disclaimer here. Some of the things they do are a bit dirty keto because they do have sugar in them. So if you're okay with that, and if it falls within your journey, then I say by all means, try them. The flavors and the names of their hot sauces are absolutely fantastic. I'm going to put a link for them in my show notes. So some of the things that I had this week that I'd like to highlight here. We had Smashburgers on Sunday, and yes, you can get them without the bun, which on a ketogenic lifestyle, that's something I'm going to do. It came in a bowl, and the flavor was absolutely outstanding. The portion was great, and they have fried Brussels sprouts as well. Something that can definitely be added to my lifestyle. I have been experimenting a lot with chia pudding for a number of reasons. Main reason for me is that it keeps me full throughout the day. However, though, there are a number of benefits too that I would like to point out. I'll put in my show notes where I got this information here for 11 grams of fiber, 4 grams of protein, and 9 grams of fat. Sorry, I have this written out for myself here so I wouldn't forget it here. And also 5 of which are from omega-3s, which is something that's lacking in everyone's diet. I don't care who you are. The type of food that we eat nowadays does not have a significant amount of omega-3 fats. Most of it is omega-6 and omega-9, which is another topic for another day. So I've been experimenting with it. I have never really been a sweet person. I really like spicy things. Even before going keto, sweet was never really my thing. What really was my thing was savory and spicy. So I'm working on making myself a spicy chia pudding. Normally I've been putting a cacao powder, coconut milk, and little monk fruit in it. I tried this week here, and I'll have a picture right there of this new one that I tried, and I'll also put information on the show notes about this as well. I put a little ranch dressing from a company that I trust. I believe it was Primal Kitchen. I put some blue cheese, some hot sauce, and some salt. Turned out really good. The texture was a little bit different here. Next time I think I'm going to add some habanero peppers as well, just to complete the spiciness of it. Tuesday, I did a pork tenderloin in the slow cooker along with radishes. Now, definitely the star of the show here was radishes. Some people use this as a substitute for baby red potatoes. Now, it's not a perfect substitute, and I should cover this just one moment here. There is no such thing as a perfect substitute. I remember back when I was trying to do a vegan lifestyle, I realized this back then that there is no perfect substitute for what you're trying to do. However, though, the radish is a pretty good substitute for baby white potatoes, and the amount of carbs in radishes are a whole lot less than potatoes. So you might want to try this here. All you really need to do is boil them for quite a while, or you could fry them up. Either way, they turn out really, really well, and it was definitely the star of the evening. Wednesday, I have 2 things I'd like to highlight. Did a bit of a mad scientist experiment cooking here at that time. Tried to make my own chips. They were okay. I have pictures of them up here. They weren't nearly thin enough. Granted, they turned out kind of like a cracker. The flavor was good. I think I could definitely improve on this. It was definitely a great way to have, say, like guacamole or things like that. Any kind of low fat, any kind of low carb, high fat dip that you might want that might work into your lifestyle. Also that night, GrubStak is a local restaurant that I found on DoorDash, and they were absolutely fantastic. I totally wanted to give them a shout out this week here. Their main things were easy to do keto, or change them into something that would fit into a ketogenic lifestyle. Also One of their sides was Brussels sprouts, which anyone that can do a Brussels sprout well is good in my books. And also their Brussels sprouts had bacon in, and bacon with Brussels sprouts is an absolutely fantastic way of cooking them. I will totally try them again. I will definitely be trying them again, and they fit very well into my lifestyle. Thursday, I did one of my favorite salads. It has oysters, sardines, pork rinds, mayo, mustard, and a little seasoning. Is this a traditional salad? No. However, though, the flavors are great, the textures are outstanding, and I'd like to highlight two things from it too. First off, oysters. Oysters have two minerals that I'd like to highlight. One is a vitamin, one is vitamin B12, and the other is iron, which is something we do not get in our daily diets, and something that should definitely be added to. Sardines has a lot of healthy fat. It has vitamin B12 and vitamin D. There's something that should be thought about to be added to anyone's lifestyle because it's considered eating head to tail, and no matter what kind of diet that you're on, there's going to be nutritions and vitamins in things that are whole that aren't going to be in other things. Lastly, last night, I also tried a Greek restaurant called Flaming Kebabs, and they are fantastic. Their tzatziki sauce was great, and also their lamb was done perfectly. I have pictures of it here as well. The only thing that I'd like to call them out about here is that you had to order either a choice of fries or a rice. Now, that's not going to fly with me because that's something that I don't do. I don't do rice and I don't do fries, the grains and the potatoes. If you do, that's fine. That doesn't work in my lifestyle though. So here's a little tip. If something comes with a side that you don't like to eat or that doesn't fit into your lifestyle, throw it out. There's nothing wrong with that. So thank you very much for listening to me today. I'd like to hear how your week's been. Have you had anything that you've really enjoyed this week? How is your daily meals going here? Anything that you would like to highlight, feel free to put this in the show notes as well. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey this week towards wholeness, and I hope that you can get some information from me that help you to be that I could be a part of your journey as well. Until next time, to the journey.